Here, look. And just before I start, Chair, could I thank a member of staff this morning who chased me down the corridor to return money that fell from my pocket. I'm sure they thought that they could do it far better than I could, but I'd like to acknowledge their honesty and their integrity. Minister, can I ask you if you'll consider introducing a code of standardisation of road and pathway signage to be used by community and resident groups in view of the many different signs that are appearing across our country? Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, Deputy. It's somewhat out of my remit, but I understand that groups such as residents' associations who wish to erect signage in their local areas are generally referred to the roads section in their local authority. So you might get more joy out of them. And they will ensure that such signage is in keeping with the Department of Transport Traffic Signals Manual. Now, this manual provides details on the traffic signs which may be used on roads in Ireland, including their layout and symbols, the circumstances in which each sign may be used, and rules for positioning them. Responsibility for the manual rests within the remit of the Minister for Transport. Now, separately, this is closer to our department, Sport Ireland have developed a criteria document for walking trails in Ireland, which, among other things, gives guidance on the standard of waymarking signage along walking trails. So my department administers the walk scheme, which facilitates the development and maintenance of many of Ireland's key walking trails by contracting landowners to undertake maintenance work on those trails in line with agreed work plans. Now, the programme for government includes a commitment to expand the walk scheme to achieve a target of 80 trails compared to 39 at the beginning of 2019. This is in recognition of the value of outdoor recreation amenities to support individual and community well-being. So amenities such as walking trails and other outdoor recreation infrastructure have seen a huge increase in usage during COVID-19 and are highly valued by communities in both rural and urban areas. But to go back to nub of your question, I think it's ultimately a question for the local authority, and in terms of the guidance that they're being given and are provided in relation to the issue raised, it's the Department of Transport. So there's not a huge amount I can say on that. I have plenty of information here on the walk scheme if you want to hear more about that. But thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Deputy.
Thank you, Minister. Yeah, look, I suppose the tenor of the question was wider in remit, really. What I was driving at was more about, I suppose, reimagining rural Ireland and trying to look at more homogenous signage that would describe the character and the charm of all our rural places. And I think that in terms of community development, and particularly in terms of towns and renewal schemes and that, where you're giving money, it would be great if the department was advocating that more traditional signage would be used. I think we could drive through parts of England at the moment and parts of rural Ireland, and we wouldn't unfortunately see much difference. And I think that's a shame, because I think we are losing part of our tourism charm and potential, and I think we can arrest that with clever initiatives, and that's really where I was going. And I suppose I'm thinking in terms too of my own constituency of the likes of the Blackwater Valley, the Waterford Greenway. We have a new Celtic corridor being imagined there, and these are, you know, kind of signage and waypoints that I would like to see them standardised, so that when people are in the area, you know, that they can see that as being reflective of, let's say, the journey and the charm, as they say, and the culture of where they are.
Yeah, I take the Deputy's point. I think it's a very good one. I mean, I guess I'll pass it back to another department, but only because I think that's where it's best put. I mean, I think there is a point to be made in relation to eyesores as well, in relation to over signage and unnecessary signage and old signage that doesn't really tell you anything anymore, and the issue that if you're driving through rural Ireland, you will pass so many places that are of value and of interest. And we just don't know it as well. So I'll contact my colleague who looks after the heritage side of things as well, but I'd encourage you to contact the Department of Transport as well in relation to that.
So, as I say, if the department were to look at some specific funding initiatives that would basically emphasise the ideas of using more rural type signage and more traditional type signage to give character and to keep the little bit of character that we have left in our rural areas, and to try and build on that, I think that would be a very good initiative. Thanks.
In other departments in relation to that. Thank you.